Hi, I'm Nick Gates. I'm the founder of Coaches Across Continents. We're in Nagpur, India with Slum Soccer. We're here to show you this fantastic partnership and their use of our self-directed learning model. One of the biggest challenges for Coaches Across Continents is to explain what is football for social development and impact. Let's start at the beginning. It's not just turning up, bouncing a football and scoring a few goals. It's an educational model that uses self-directed learning to help each community. Through the course of all our programs, we monitor and evaluate every game that we play. We do baseline, endline studies and impact models. It's a science. It's creating social change.
So Slum Soccer started about a decade ago. A couple of underprivileged children playing in rainwater, kicking around a broken bucket, triggered the whole movement of Slum Soccer. The joy on their faces was very contagious. We started with providing underprivileged children with a platform to come and play at a venue, and slowly it blossomed and we started receiving some media attention. But it was only after some of the parents reported back to us saying that how good the program is in terms of their kids participating, and they were less in mischief. They were not breaking as many rules as they were. So we realized that whatever was happening on the ground had an impact off the ground as well. I had not known about the program when I met you. We knew that we were missing a big piece of the puzzle, which was the development through football aspect, the values that we want for them to understand. And when I sat next to you and when you were talking about your program, it was the biggest thing that I could hear that day. And I knew I wanted you to come and give that light to my coaches so that they can then start to implement those ideas within our program.
We can do this through sport. We can question these traditions.
The first year Coaches Across Continents came to Slum Soccer, it opened our eyes to how to use those games, what other issues can be effectively addressed through the game itself. In the second year, we were able to build upon the relationship that we created in the first year and take it to the next level. After working with you, the progress in terms of how it is changing the lives of children who are working with us is amazing. I have some very young and very bright people who I have now started calling leaders because they've learned through the Coaches Across Continents module, and now they're changing and now they're leading.
So I graduated I have a bachelor's of technology in industrial engineering, and I was working with a French multinational company, but then I realized that there's not much fun in the job and I'm not enjoying my job. So that's when I discovered Slum Soccer and been volunteering for a couple of years on a part-time basis, and I realized it's the right time to, leave my job and do something that I like. So it's been a fun week so far, filled with a lot of learning. The three of you are team blue and the three of you will be team color. Okay, so now 2 teams will attack and 1 team will defend. So let's say black and blue are going to attack and you guys are going to defend. We've been divided in 2 batches of coaches, where you have the junior coaches learning on how to teach other kids on how to use football as a tool for social development, and you are the senior coaches where I'm with 14 other people. So we've been discussing with Coaches Across Continents on how they've been asking us how we want the program to be, and then what are the problems we face in our community. So based on that, we are developing the curriculum to train other coaches so that it's a self-sustainable method of training our own coaches, so that we don't need the interventions of CAC every time we need to train new coaches. I think the potential is endless in India.
Listen to me! Yes, well done. Challenge her. You're challenging her. I like it.
It's a huge leap of progress. It's a sea of change, if I can say it that way. It has opened their minds to something which they didn't even knew existed.
1, 2, 3.
Nice.
We did have a women's program, but we were not so equipped to handle that. But with Coaches Across Continents curriculum that we are using now, it became easier for them to adapt. It became real for them.
Yesterday we were playing a game and it was 3v6. It was for conflict resolution. It was Mia Hamm for conflict resolution. And I was coaching this group and I told I just said 9 people come out onto the field and play 3v6. So we're letting them solve their own problems. And of course, 9 boys run out to the field. And 3 girls looked like they wanted to go. And I was like, go out there. And they run up to the group, and one of the boys says, no, you go outside. And they didn't. They stayed on the field until 3 boys left, and they played. It was so impressive, and I think that really speaks to what Slum Soccer is doing here, but also to the way that Coaches Across Continents has enabled them to, bring boys and girls together in a community that's probably frowned upon.
You can talk about girls and boys playing all the time, but the people who are creating the opportunity have to know enough to do it the right way.
My aim is totally changed because of Coaches Across Continents. Because Coaches Across Continents share me a new knowledge.
Coaches Across Continent gives the many more things, how to develop the communities and how to share social issues through football and games also, like child protection, AIDS awareness, gender equality, female empowerment. Coaches Across Continents is the best way to share the knowledge through football.
In India, there is very traditions like girls can do anything. Then Coaches Across Continents told me that we have choices, we have power to change anything. There is nothing is impossible. There is possible in everything.
I learned there how to design the games also with social messages, social issues.
A boy can do one thing, I also can do that thing. I changed my whole life because of Coaches Across Continents. Thank you.
That confidence wasn't there before we started working with you. What they discovered was they were capable enough to lead their sessions, they were capable enough to make small decisions in the beginning, then leading to bigger decisions, and then leading to choosing their own direction.
I came from Yavatmal districts, and there is a small village near, it's called Nagpur Supant. So this is a farmer area.
We discovered Homkant. Homkant is someone who ran away from his home because his town had a vast number of suicides happening.
They don't have a money for the doing our farmer stuff.
Most of them were farmers who owed a lot of money to loan sharks.
After 2 months, so you give me the 4,000 rupees. It's a double. And after they don't give the money. So they don't have any options, any types of options. So they did the suicide there.
And Humkant was a very young and impressionable boy at that point of time. He was 17, and then he couldn't take all of this.
So one day I ran away my home, and then I came in the Nagpur. I don't have money that time. I do the work in the hotels. I wash the plates and make the tea. And
from the very first day, we could see the potential in him. But it was very recently during my interactions with him that I discovered that his moment of self-discovery was when he did the first training with Coaches Across Continents. He was able to believe in himself. He felt confident enough to take matters in his own hand and to not only change his life, but of other kids who were following him. We now have a very clear-cut idea as to how we want to train these leaders to take the program ahead, while using the games that we have learned from Coaches Across Continents to deliver that. We love the self-directed learning that we've developed because of working with Coaches Across Continents. We are now not only capable of deciding on the directions that we can take, but also how deep we want to touch an issue and what do we want to do about it.